Okay, so we're doing this little pressure release valve today. The way it works is the boiler itself is rated to a certain maximum working pressure, and if the pressure builds up in it too high, then this thing releases the additional pressure. It's set at 6 bar. I don't know what that is in PSI, but if you look, there's some little arrows. Some little arrows marked on it there and there, which show the flow. So all we need to do is attach that to the cold feed close to the boiler, and that way any additional pressure will be dealt with. The problem was that I was missing some of these fittings, so these will fit in here and one on the other side for any resulting pressure that needs to go, and they'll click onto the John Guest fittings that we've got here with a little bit of PTFE tape to make the seal, I think. A bit of WD-40 and they're all out. Perfect. Looks like they're different sizes actually. I've got two at one length. They're both kind of compact 3 kilowatt jobs by the look of them. But if you look at the length of this, the length of the fold is different. So I'm assuming that the power's the same on each of them. In fact, it's probably printed on the caps, isn't it? Let's have a look. Yeah, just checking the caps, they're all 3 kilowatts. 11 inches to the back of the back of the boss. The actual exposed element is 10. 10, that's 9, that one, 9 and a bit. So I was looking last night online at similar products. You get them in a standard copper, I would assume. There's the ink alloy version, and then there's the titanium version, which is sold generally on the basis of water hardness, but the titanium seems to be better suited, according to the specs anyway, better suited for corrosive liquids, it says. So for the sake of a few quid more, the titanium ones I'll probably go for. I think they're about £25 each, something like that. So for 100 quid I could swap all the elements out. Martin Bailey suggested giving them a good acid dip to see what we can get off. But they're all kind of bent and twisted. Look at that, if you can see it. I'm pretty sure it's not out of the factory like that. So they've been damaged at some point. It's just not worth it for the money concerned. So we're going to do that. Looks like they've got a copper thermostat tube, which the thermostat's been removed from, or it wasn't supplied with one. Still yet to think about the controller, whether I'm going to make something or buy. Again, it will really depend on the least cost option. But if I buy them without thermostat tubes, then obviously I need to think about adding a thermostat somewhere, or a thermo probe somewhere to the kettle. For venting, we're keen not to have external extraction because we do have some residential neighbours nearby. We've got this 4-inch duct on the top, which used to go to an extractor, which I've actually got over here, just to get the steam and the odour outside. We're keen not to do that because of the neighbours around here. We want to be as unobtrusive as we can, so we'll refrain from using that. I'm going to create a condensation tube, which you can buy or we can make relatively inexpensively. So at the moment what we've got is this 4-inch stainless duct on the top. It's not quite vertical, but I think that we can come out across and down with some water jets in it to help the condensation, and then that'll obviously be dumped into the floor drain. So we're still not 100% sure about the capacity of this kit. It's been described as 2 barrel, 2.5 barrel, 2 and a bit barrel. I'm a home brewer, right? So what does that even mean? So I'm just going to try and get my head around it. In litres, we'll do some quick maths. Take you back to your GCSEs, folks. Volume of a cylinder and all that. So in the mash tun, we've got this. We've got this false bottom. Let's just whip that out. I've got 2 false bottoms actually, because the kit that we bought from Sean's got another one. This is the I need to clean as well. There we are. Can't wait to get some proper cleaners in here. Cleaning products, that is, as opposed to the ones that come in a van. So that's false bottom number 1. So let's just get our heads around the size of this thing. This is tricky one-handed, guys, so sorry for the camera work. So, try and get roughly in this. It doesn't have to be exact, this, I think, just for now. Let's get that across. So we are at inside diameter 84 centimeters. This is a tricky bit because it's dished, but if we go from the center of that radius to the end, 60 centimeters plus the I'm not even going to try and work out the volume of that dish. We'll go from where the side meets the bottom, just about. So 84 by 60 for the mash tun. For the copper, you might not be able to see in here, but I'll do my best. $84. And the same. Let's do from the radius there to the scum line is 60. You probably didn't see that, but you have to trust me. So basically the same. Right, maths lesson time. Settle down, class. Behave yourself. Okay, so volume of a cylinder. Pi r squared h. So radius is 84 was the diameter, radius is therefore 42. The height was 60 centimeters. So that's 60. If we'd go 0.42 and 0.6, so we don't have millions of decimal places here, that gives me 330 litres in both, actually, because the inside dimensions are the same. I imagine it's exactly the same vessel, just one's obviously with the lid. Okay, who wants to compare some bottoms? Here's the two that we've got. On the left is the pub kit. Quite a fine mesh, really, very much like a sieve. And this is the false bottom from Sean in his mash tun. They're basically identical, I think, except one's got a bit more of a requirement for cleaning. We've got a lot of fittings and hoses, but some of these hoses are, well, we've got a whole new, I guess there's probably 20 meters of hose, so I'm going to get rid of this old stuff. Might as well start fresh. Also gives me a chance to clean these properly. So pull them all to bits. Stripped all those hoses off. Some of them were like steel reinforced, that steel wire going through them, so they're a bit of a bugger to peel, but there you go. So I'm just filming this for two reasons. One is so I can remember what we've got when I get home and start trying to work out how to plumb all this stuff together, and secondly because you guys might be interested. Three different right angles, a few straight bits, or straight ends. These two here were what was on the old beer pump, we'll reuse those on the new pump, I guess. Another straight one, long straight one. This little double right angled coupled together, no idea what that's for. This U-shaped piece, a right angled with this beveled end, some long pieces, and looks like a filling wand, filling head. Now I can sit and try and work all this out, or we can have a chat with Simon in a few days, because he's dismantled most of it and has brewed on the kit before, so I'm sure he'll be familiar with what goes where. But just because they did it a certain way at the other place doesn't mean we'll do it the same. But I would like to know how they've done it. We filled a skip outside with all the crap, to be honest. Lots of rubbish. And just done a little tidy up. I'm glad I fitted this 6-bar valve, because it just started spurting a minute ago. So my scientific calculation about not needing an expansion tank was a load of rubbish. obviously I do, so that's knocked off now and drained. It only spurted twice, so we should be all right. I don't think it's damaged. But I'll get an expansion tank from Screwfix in the next couple of days. In fact, Roy across the road, who runs the car body repair shop, said he had a spare one. They just had their hot water system replaced, so I'll try and scrounge that one off him. And that valve actually is a little bit far away from the boiler. I think it needs to be closer, so I'll reposition that. I just had a spare bit of pipe there ready for it. But I'm glad that spurted, because if it had spurted when I wasn't here, that would have been fun. To come in and find the place flooded before we've even started. To be safe, I'll knock all the water off tonight when we go, and the electric, and we'll get that plumbed properly. This is the line cooler that came with the kit. I've not looked at it or touched it yet, so I'm just going to spend a few minutes having a quick nosy. It looks, again, it's been stood for a while. It's pretty funky, so needs taking apart and cleaning. So I'm just going to get my head around it and see what we need to do. assuming this is the right thing to do anyway. When I first turned it on, as expected, it gave a big spit of water out of the flow, pipe, that's the one on the right hand side, which is good. It means the pump is doing what it should do. The agitator pump, that kind of rusty one with the red top that you saw inside, that's actually an agitator, like a little propeller in the water, keeps it moving, and a pump which sucks and pushes it out of that right hand tap that you see there. Obviously I just wanted to let it run without emptying itself of water, so I've just created a little loop, which I don't know if that's safe to do. There's no kind of resistance in it, so it's just straight in and straight out. Assuming that'll be okay. But I will say, it's freezing cold, very cold. There's only water in it as well, so it's clearly doing its job. In fact, you might see a little bit of condensation on there if you look carefully. So it's cooling. I've got no means of checking the temperature here. Left my thermometers and stuff at home. But obviously with water, it's not going to get as cold as it would with some glycol or anti-freezy type stuff. I'm tempted to stick it there because it's kind of out of the way underneath the fermenter, but I'm also concerned any sort of drips or leaks might end up going on it, so need to think about that as well. Possibly a little shelf behind, or I could probably construct something in that corner there, just on top of that that brace for the wall. Stick it there next to it, halfway up. So we'll get that moved over anyway. But that's a good sign. We got a means of keeping the fermenter under temperature control. Quick PS, a friend of mine built an almost identical kit to the one that I showed a couple of videos back. If anyone's interested, he's selling it. I said I'd just put something at the end of this video. Just drop a note in the comments if you're interested and I'll connect you with him. Thanks a lot. Cheers. See you next time.